Joffrey, Renly, Robb Stark are all thieves. They'll bend the knee or I'll destroy them.
Donald sat silently in Winterfell's Godswood. It felt like a lifetime since he was here last, before the Flints rebelled and took the throne of the North, before the Arryns swooped down and took it from them as well. He thought his return would be triumphant. Now he was left with a great hall vacant of his relatives and a wife who was ambivalent towards him. On the bright side, his lords, the remaining lords of the North, were happy to be led by a Stark again. They were weary though, weary of war and losing land and men. Few spoke of it, but there was little trade going directly to the north. All of it was going into Andalia, who in turn would trade with him and the other Northmen at their own rates. His brother-in-law had restored him to his rightful throne. But with that deed came debt, a debt caused by countless wars and scant food and the Andalian war machine. Donald gazed into the Hearttree's weeping face. Did the old gods weep for him, for the North, or the kingdom that once had been? Those who held to the gods of their ancestors were shrinking. South of the Neck, Andal hosts came and overturned the existing order, established by bloodlines centuries old. He was fortunate that some of the lords that had been raised on high in Andalia stood firm and held on to the gods of their ancestors. And for that, Donald wept with the tree before him. He prayed and promised and hoped for a gentle winter.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Citadel with me, Grand Maester Stitch, where we return to Andalia and the Knights of Andalia once again. We just had that introduction of King Donald Stark of the North, who is maybe starting to realise just how little power he actually has as a king, and he is going to be aiding the Night's Watch as they are trying to restore the Night's Watch and take back the castles that have been taken from them. And as King Enger, we are also going to get involved in this war just so that we can now fully secure that northern border. Our father Ambrose did eventually unwillingly go to help when the wildlings pushed too far south and it looked like they were going to attack Andalia, but now Enger is going to show the people how much of a good king he is. He's probably not doing it actually because he wants to do it, more just to keep up appearances, but he's going to help the Night's Watch push back the wildlings, restore the wall, and hopefully keep his vassals on side by doing that. So there we go, we will join the wall. Who is Lord Commander? Lord Commander Brynden the Dark Turtle of House Estermont. Very nice nickname, the Dark Turtle, that's awesome. So he's got 3,500 men, so he's got a few thousand men to fight the wildlings, and he's going to have to fight against the Milkwater, which as I believe is High Chief Taran the Hunter. I believe he is the son of High Chief Mikken the Hunter, yes, who was that really amazing wildling who did manage to almost take the North. If we hadn't have intervened Andalia, the North would have fallen to the wildlings. So yeah, we're going to get involved with that, try and push the wildlings back behind Castle Black. We are still trying to get claims in the era. We've got our mother in Moon's Grey at the moment. After that, we're going to go for Strong Son and Crown Crag to get those, and then we'll try and get that High Lordship. We've also got a claim on Heart's Home and Newkeep, so we can try and press all of that and take a good chunk, well, the whole half, take the whole northern half, really, of the Vale by doing that. We also got alliances with House Royce and House Waynwood in the last episode as well, so we're starting to get more Vale Lords on our side, just like we did with House Corbury and Coldwater before we tried to take the Northern Vale. Right, so let's unpause whilst we wait. And oh, here we go. My liege, my work in Moon's Grey seems to have come to fruition. By bribing, cajoling, extorting, threatening, and forging documents, I have managed to fabricate a claim on the lordship of Moon's Grey, presently held by Lord Oswell of Moon's Grey. I leave it up to you whether to press it or not. Well, of course, yes, use it. Right, now we'll send you mother. Obviously, Renny of the Hill, the old queen, is our Master of Laws presently. We will get her to now fabricate a claim on, let's go for Crown's Crag first, because that will probably be a little bit easier. Then we'll go for the High Lordship afterwards. And then after that, I think we'll start trying to get some claims on these Riverland areas that we want to take. Now, what the aim is, I want to try and get this western coast. I want to get the High Lordship of Seaguard so that we can get more of a navy on this western side. And then probably go down to about Blackwood. and stay north of the, which fork is this? The Red Fork, and we'll stay north of the Red Fork and take everything north of that. All this bit bordering the Vale, everything to the north of that side of the Trident, the Blackwood, and then up to the Sea Guard, and the rest will leave for the River Lords, but they'll probably then get overrun by the Rock or the Grandlands or the Stormlands. We'll sort of split it between us, but we will try and take all of the Vale, and then we'll see what our next course of action will be. We do need to get revenge on the Iron Islands as well at some point. Right, let's unpause. Let's wait for the Night's Watch to accept our offer of aid, and then we will get our own men together. The North are also joining in with this, which is awesome. To the great High King Enger II, your wisdom and mercy, your I gladly accept your offer of assistance in my war. Let our enemies tremble. Lord Commander Brynden. Now, we'll send the first men in for this. We'll get them to raise their vassals. So 14,000 from 1,400, sorry, from Grey Cliffs, 1,100 from the Bolton lands. So we'll send in the first men. They obviously are more proud and more interested in the Night's Watch, so we'll let them earn it back for us, whilst we keep our other men safe. I think with the aid of the North and then the Night's Watch itself, that should be more than enough men to take that. There's no point in sending all our men and raising all our levies when they're not going to be needed. Your wisdom and mercy, Aledre, I gladly accept the guardianship contract between John and Mathis Crescent, that is, who has dragon dreams and interesting intrigue, so we've sent him to be fostered by John Frostfire, who's now the whopping age of 48. Wow, he's getting pretty old. But yeah, that'll be a good guardianship. I've sorted out a lot of guardianships and betrothals and such off screen as usual. Right, who should we have leading this army? We'll go with Theon Bolton, and can we... Oh, King Donald the Usurper revoked the Castle of Dawn Forest from Lauren the Shadow. Okay. Peace be with you. I gladly accept the guardianship contract between Danny and Lord Oscar. Yep, so we've sent Lord Oscar Morgath, who's got pretty good stewardship. We've sent him to Danny Ironford, our Master of Coin, to be warded, and decided to accept your suggestion of a betrothal between Sir Michael of Deepcroft, who's pretty decent, Lord Dore, who's got a castle here in High Point. We've betrothed him to just a random courtier, just to make sure that line does carry on. And may you live in harm and contentment. Your demand is just. My scheming was obviously misdirected. I hope you'll find it in you to forgive me. Yeah, he was plotting to kill somebody, so we've asked him to end that plot. Right, yes, I want to get Owen as a commander, if possible, just for now, so that we can send our Northmen north of the... Oh, we've got Garibaldi as well. He's a Northman, isn't he? Garibaldi Rook. And then if we can get Owen Greystark in there as well. Let's remove our uncle for now. We'll put Owen Greystark in there just so we can send the 3 Northern Lords beyond the wall. And it's not letting us use him at the moment. We'll try again in a minute. It's probably he might be doing something else at present. But yeah, we'll get our men together. And while they do that, we'll go and take a look at the sisters, as obviously that's where we had our end POV in the last episode. Stuff's been kicking off a little bit there as of late. Obviously, we assassinated Lord Sunderland, but his son has stayed in line, and he's being very loyal so far. He even came to Sevensport to bend the knee. But the Borrels of Sweet Sister, the main island, did try to overthrow them. So... obviously that lord was then sent to the Night's Watch, if you remember, but then I just noticed how good Lord Wallace, the current lord of House Borrel, is incredible. He's a brilliant commander, a cavalry leader, and unyielding, a knight, a formidable fighter, scarred, duelist, envious, diligent, just, and brave. He's really, really good. So I want to keep a close eye on him. I'm going to make him important, and maybe we can do something with him, get him in court or something, because it'd be a shame to waste someone with such good martial and commanding ability. I do apologise if you can hear my dogs barking. I don't know what they're barking at. They're always being stupid whenever I record. Right, let's get our troops together in Greyhold. Can we call up Owen Greystark to this unit? No, we can't. So we'll just send the old god people who are there currently to go and secure the wall. City Holden has finished construction in Grandport. Doesn't really concern us though, does it? And something in the north has been finished building. We're 13% winning before we even get our troops up north. While investigating the rumour of a plot in Sevensport, I was attacked by armed thugs. I barely escaped with my life and am now severely... Again, poor Owen's definitely going through the wars at the minute. I hope he doesn't die. He's 53, so he's still got plenty of years left in him, hopefully. His son, Sir Rodwell Sevenstar, and Manessa Rack have had a daughter now as well, Valiette Sevenstar, who's been born quick but sickly. Keep an eye on her. We won't give her a guardianship until we know what she's going to start developing in. There we go. We've got 2,600 Andalian men here. Let's now... Who's Morton? Is that Morton? True Sword, yes. Let's now march those up to join the Night's Watch troop. A city holding was finished in Deep Down. Okay, so... And a city holding was finished in Torrent Square. Okay, so it looks like Donald Stark is finally using some of that money that he had. He obviously had a hell of a lot of money for some reason. God knows where he got that from. I hope he hadn't stole it off House Sevenstar whilst he was in our court. But he saved up a lot of money. And he's finished building a temple in the Wolfswood as well. And a daughter was born to Roland Hook and Sarah Stark named Meg Stark. Okay. Now, she's not one of hers, is it? Oh, no. It seems my dalliance with Sarah has resulted in a child. Fortunately, Roland seems to think Maggie is his. Okay, so that's another bastard of ours, but it's not going to get passed off as ours, which is a shame. We'll keep her as important. I want to try and get as many as possible passed off as our own. So is she actually matrimonially in marriage to him? Yes, she is. She's actually got a couple of bastards who are actually ours. It's a shame that we can't acknowledge them as ours. We've got a lot more bastards than we actually think, which is absolutely crazy. Right, let's carry on. Forwarding. Is our army yet at the wall? No, almost. 2,600 men. I think that'll be more than enough to help out up the wall. And there we go, they're just crushing a wildling revolt at the moment at the wall. Our men will get there just in time to reinforce them. Army of Lothar of the North Road. Oh yeah, that's the Glover Lord who owns that, but isn't part of the Night's Watch, but is a vassal of the Night's Watch. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Oh, okay, so they've got quite a lot of army there. The Army of the Miltwater there. 4,000 men the wildlings have got there, so it's a good job that our force is coming north. Would we need to send any more troops? I don't think we'll need to send any more troops. I think that'll be more than enough. Hopefully it won't take us too long to get those claims. Okay, peace offered down in the Grandlands doesn't really concern us. I did notice down in Dawn that yet another kingdom has broken away, the Stone Way, which is ruled over by House Tarth. No idea why. There are no Yormwoods left around. But yep, they've broke away now, so Dawn is literally just the broken arm now. So there's several petty kingdoms yet again in Dawn. The Reach is in upheaval as the Tarleys are trying to overthrow the Florence. The Gardeners are going for independence. There's two Lannister factions yet again fighting over Casterly Rock and the Westerlands, and then the Stormlands are trying to invade the Trident to take what's this High Lordship called again up here? The Bay of Crabs, isn't it? Can't remember if that's the actual High Lordship name, but you know where I mean, up that way, up near Cracklaw. Okay, let's get these men up here quickly so that we can aid the Night's Watch. That Wildling army will probably be pretty weak. Oh, and the Starks look like they're taking part in a war at the moment rather than helping the Night's Watch. Surprised that these Mountain Hill clans didn't just bend the knee. Who currently? House Knot. Hopefully they don't get rid of House Knot. I hate it when they get rid of these houses to replace them with non-cannon houses. I don't mind if they replace them with cannon houses, but here we go. Right, can we... Yep, we'll attach our army to the Night's Watch army, which gives them 6,000 men, and we'll leave them to do their own thing and take care of that while we concentrate on our own things back south. We are building ships in Barrington so that we can, of course, get revenge on the Ironborn, as well as to protect ourselves lore-wise when they do come calling. Lord Jonas wrote me a letter expressing his fervent desire to know me better, again, so that we can come to be good acquaintances. If nothing else, it was a thoughtful and kind gesture from him. Sure, I'm happy to talk about... I'm sure for him to talk to me. Or whatever it said. Donald Stark has transferred the vassalage contract of Artus to Wilbert Bowl. Okay. How is... Are any of our lovers pregnant, I wonder? Can we try and get our wife pregnant again? She's not pregnant at the moment. We really need a son, else we're going to have to legitimise one of our bastards. We've got Titus, Harbert, and Ambrose. So we do have three bastard sons at the moment. Titus being the most impressive, just because he's got that strong trait, really. That's the only thing that impressive about him. So hopefully he'll turn into something good. Oh, and I've received news, just as we were saying, that my lover, Rosamund, is with child. Hopefully she will be able to sway the husband to be the real father. No, I don't want her to. I want the bastards acknowledged as my own. We've already got about 5 bastards now who are not acknowledged as ours. Let's keep an eye on that Night's Watch war. 6,000 versus 5. Oh, it's going to be very close, but they have won the siege for Castle Black, which is awesome. So we'll keep a close eye on that, just in case, because they are quite even in numbers now. But with our Andalian Knights there, they should be more than enough to take care of that. How are the Muds presently doing? Lord Theo of Eldador accepted King Donald the Usurper's peace offer. Perfect. Are they now going to help out then with the Night's Watch? They should do, really. Yes, so we've got Lord Mud here, who's Arryn Queen. Oh, he's got a nasty scar down her face now. I wonder if we'd be able to seduce her. No, we can't seduce her because Ranella is located, isn't located in Sevenstar or our kingdom, so we can't seduce her at the moment. We could have done when we went down there. It would be nice to try and seduce the Arryn princess, just to rub it in a little bit more. We haven't seduced anyone for a little while. Enger's probably getting a little bit sexually frustrated. It's probably the longest he's gone without any. Should we send some extra troops up there, maybe from the Hornwood as they're closest? We could do, or we could call in the ships just to send a few extra troops up there to help. But I don't want to send too many if we don't have to. Let's call up the Sevenstar army and the Sevenstar fleet. Wow, 4,000 men, that's a lot. We'll embark them on the fleet and we'll sail those up. We'll go get them to help out just in case. Let's go. We could always sail them beyond the wall, actually, and get the capital under siege, just to try and end that war quicker for the Night's Watch. Your Grace, I write to express my consternation at the fact that Sir Garibald Rook enjoys command of your armies when someone of higher status would clearly be more appropriate. I petition that he be removed from command and then I take his place, Lord Enger the Evil. Well, you're not actually a commander, so I'm going to have to turn you down, unfortunately, Lord Enger. You may become Spy Master, though, at some point. Well, more than likely will at some point, once, obviously, John Frostfire kicks the bucket. You make a good point, but no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go on station, I'm going to go on ability. So let's get those ships up here quick. Okay, here's another small army of the Milkwater. They've got some strength in the Milkwater, haven't they? How many provinces are up? They've got the other lands and the Horns. So there's 3 chieftains at the minute behind the wall. So there could be a worry of a king beyond the wall again at some point. But with how strong Andalia now is, I can't see it being much of a threat. Not unless the White Walkers turn up at some point. Which I hope they do at some point in the series. Let's take this army beyond the wall. Your Septon Mark of Snow reports that Septon Mark of Snow, okay, so he's reporting that himself, has been humbled by your endless generosity to the poor in Sevenstar. Well, you're the one doing it, good pal. A job well done, okay, yeah, whatever. He improves his opinion of us, so I'm not going to complain. Lord Quentin of Rosby has usurped the High Lordship of Blackwater Rush from Lord Perrien Rayonet. Okay. So the Rosbys are doing well down south, unlike the Rosby branch, obviously in Andalia, which is not doing too well at the moment, because there's one last surviving member after the father plotted to kill us, so we had to behead him, obviously. We've got quite a few deaths in our kills now for King Enger. We've got 3 beheaded and 1 who died under suspicious circumstances, taking an arrow to the neck. Right, let's drop off these men here. Who shall we have commanding these? We've got Donald, Garrett Josso, and yeah, that'll do, because then we've got the other guys leading the other army here at Castle Black. So we'll get that under siege. First time that a lot of those men would have travelled beyond the wall. First time any Andal Northman would have travelled beyond the wall. We didn't have to travel that far before when we forced the wildlings back all those years ago. Fear has loosened its grip on me. I stand tall against the things I used to fear. We lose the trait Craven. Perfect. That'll improve people's opinions of us as well, which is awesome. It improves our diplomacy and martial as well. I think now, though, it is time for a mid-POV where we'll be going to Lord Greystark and Lord Bolton as they fight alongside the Night's Watch against the wildlings. I hope you enjoy. The great Andalian host, made up of mainly thirst men from the Grey Cliffs and Strangers Hills, adding up to a total of 6,000 men, hastily marched towards Eastwatch by the sea. They had just secured a great victory at Castle Black, finally recapturing it from the wildling hands after decades of occupation. The Umbers of the last half had sent men up to hold the castle so the Andalian host could move eastward to aid the men of the Night's Watch and Lord Commander Estamont. His force was under assault from the wildlings at Eastwatch. One by one, the castles in Freefolk hands between Castle Black and Eastwatch fell to Theon and Owen. Now they need only smash the great wildling host assaulting Eastwatch to send them scurrying like the cowards they were back into the frozen wilderness beyond the wall. This would finally restore the Night's Watch to its former glory and keep the men of the North safe from constant raiding as they had suffered these past few decades since the fall of the wall. From surveillance, it appeared that the remaining Night's Watch garrison had reinforced Eastwatch Central Gateway. Guards regularly patrolled its perimeter. The huge wildling host sat encamped all around the west and southern side of Eastwatch, the sea on the eastern side blocking any escape for the Black Brothers. Owen leaned onto the makeshift desk his men had set up when they had made camp for the evening. Before him was an old blueprint detailing the different entry points into Eastwatch. The maesters he and Theon had brought with him had found it in Castle Black's library. Thankfully, the wildlings hadn't used any of the books and papers in it for kindling. Theon walked up behind him to look over the document as well.
Any idea how we're getting in? The younger lord asked. Owen grunted. We can't lead a frontal assault, that much is clear. Luckily, however, like the rest of the wildlings we've dealt with, they're infantry based, and in open land they prefer to face their opponents head on. They lack discipline. Theon's face lit up. So what you're saying is? Owen grinned. We hit them where they're not looking. Owen pointed to Greengard and the stairs leading up the walls from the keep. I say we divide and conquer. They're expecting us to come from the west or south. We need to hit them from the north. So a diversion force from the west to draw them away from the keep, and while they're undermanned we'll sneak a force from on top of the wall and down into the keep to aid the Black Turtle. Owen nodded. Aye, it'll be risky and we'll have to do some scouting for the area, but we can do this. Theon smiled viciously. Let's get to it then.
Okay, and we're back here beyond the wall. Oh, and perfect. My liege, my work and crown crack seem to have come to fruition. By bribing, cajoling, threatening, and forging documents, I've managed to fabricate a claim on the lordship of Crown Crack. Perfect, to use it. And now let's send you, mother, to fabricate a claim on the High Lordship of Strongsong, which is obviously House Belmore, who we will keep around when we do finally march south. They were one of the only ones who didn't accept any marriage alliances, but I don't think they really had anyone that we could marry off to them. Here we are, 4,000 men. We are losing men. Wow, that is very well defended for a wildling base. We're losing a lot of men there. Can we split it? Oh, a son was born to Damien Shycross and Herella of Thindor, named Doncino Shycross. Oh, he's been born sickly, but hopefully he doesn't pass away. He's not died just yet, so he wasn't stillborn. That's good. Hopefully he doesn't pass on. That always seems to happen with the sickly children. I did notice as well that the Boltons have had another child now, another son, Belfasar Bolton, interesting name, who is attractive and quick, as well as his genius brother. So we've got some worrying Bolton people to look out for in the future. I can only imagine how Rosamund must feel, as if being unable to publicly declare our feelings for each other was not enough. She now must lie about the fruit of our love. I must visit her. Yes, we must, and hopefully get another bastard. I think we won't get any more lovers for now, though. I think we've got enough lovers for now. Until Enger starts getting bored of the lovers that he does have, and we need to find ourselves some new ones. Right, can we split this army in half? Yes, but why is it splitting into 300? Let's collect this armour of 3,000. No idea. Why is it doing that? It's unusual. We'll merge them together then for now. What's the supply line here? Wow, not a lot. That's pretty crap. We'll have to siege that down pretty quickly then. At the age of 22, your subject Amena died after a disagreement with Emil. No idea. Oh, okay, so you're someone from the farthest fields. Okay. Let's forward things along while we continue to try and win this war. My lover, Winfred Stark, has expressed a desire to get married and has asked my permission to find her a suitable spouse. I will find her someone nice. Right, she's a Stark, so have we got anyone in our court so that we can marry to her? Snow? Yes, he's a Snow. Yes, we'll marry. It needs to be matrimonial though, of course, so keep the Stark name and send. There we go. And it's only a bastard, so if we upset him, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that we're having an affair with his wife. Right. God, it's taken a long time to siege this down. What about them at the wall? How are they doing? Still taking their time to siege it down. They're not losing too many men, so that's good. Let's forward things along while we take care of that. King Clement of the Trident has declared Riverland Ned Honeytree's host de jure war over High Heart on Alyssa of Ned of Honeytree. Okay. Just seen that the wildlings actually have ships as well. 4 ships. Wow. The wildlings have been busy. And the siege of the Night Fort is complete, so that gets us further along against them. But they're now winning quite heavily. A son was born to Kenneth Broom and Rosamund Sevenstar named Jorin. A giant. Nice. Is he actually their son, or is he our son? No, it looks like he's actually their son. Okay. Oh no, she was pregnant, wasn't she, with our child, so is he ours? Looks like she's passed him off as Kevin Brune's, though. Jorin Brune. He may be our bastard. Then again, he's got giant, so has Brune got giant, because he's not got that from us. Yes, Brune's a giant, so it is actually Brune's child and not ours. Right, we've nearly sieged that, then we'll bring our troops down to attack the wildlings. We may need to send some more troops north to help out. Let's bring the ship down to here. Let's call in the Hornwood army of 1,800 men, march them into the bullseye to be picked up by the fleet. Still waiting for that claim. We'll forward along while we gather that. Oh, there we go. Just as I was saying it, my liege, my working strong son, seems to have come to fruition. By bribing, cajoling, extorting, threatening, and forging documents, I've managed to fabricate a claim on the lordship of strong son. Perfect. Use it. Right. Puts us quite a bit in debt, but we won't have to worry about that too much. We'll soon get out of that. Yep, she got that claim that quickly that we can't even move her on. We can move her on the 12th of the 8th moon. We're currently in the 20th of the 5th moon, so we've got a few months until we can move Rennie on, but hopefully she'll get the high lordship while she's there. Septon Mart Slate has been a loyal and able servant, having successfully completed many tasks in the aid of Andalia. Yes, he has, so we will agree to give him a little bit of gold. Not going to give him lands and titles, of course, he's a Septon. Can we take a loan to get ourselves out of debt, maybe? Let's have a look. The Bank of Valyria will give us 108. I'm not borrowing from the Bank of Valyria. A minor bank will give us 189 gold. I've changed my mind about this for now, but maybe when we want to go to war, if we're not out of debt, we can try and do that. Let's forward along, get our army from the Hornwood up north. Surprised by how many men Joa has gathers. It looks like the relations are improving between Joa Rack and Enger Sevenstar finally. Empress Dowager Rennie Lansdale has been a loyal and able servant. Yes, of course she has. I should arrange this reward. Yes, should we send her gold or should we give her an heirloom? Honour her with a 7-star heirloom. Do we get to pick what? So I don't want to give away something too good. Hopefully we get to choose. I don't want to give her like flipping Mother's Mercy or anything like that. And I love how she's still classed as widowed, which is awesome. It just shows how much her and Ambrose loved each other, which is really nice. As that was where it went with the story, so I'm glad that it has stayed that way. Ah, Your Grace, I'm pleased to report the successful siege of the Haunted Keep. High Chief Taran Barth could not be found, however, but we will take his family into house arrest. Perfect, and now we'll... Oh, wow, that's a strong army of 4,000 of the Milkwater army. Oh, let's march down to the Night Fort then, and the rest of the men will come north on the boat. When they finally get to the bullseye, it's taking them a hell of a long time to do so. We are at 49% now, though, now that we've took some of their family. Let's embark them on the fleet and sail up north. Here we come. As the other army of 3,000 slowly marches south. But they look like they are suffering from the harsh winters. Your reports from Sevensport that your charity work on his behalf is proceeding well. Perfect, gain 15 piety. Could do with gaining that. We don't have a lot of piety. And wow, Donald is building more castles. He must have a hell of a lot of money. He must have inherited some more money from somewhere. The Siege of Queensgate. Perfect, victory. 53%. Once we get our men up here, we should be able to help. Empress Dowager Dowager Rennie Lansdale has been a loyal and able servant. Having successfully completed many tasks in the aid of Andalia, it would have seen as the right and honourable course to reward her with certain incomes and grants. I will owe her a favour. Yeah, she's our mother. We'll owe her a favour. Did we not give her anything in the end then? An heirloom? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Interesting. I don't know why not, because we did choose to do so. Supply line's absolutely terrible. Siege of Oakenshield is complete. So we're not far off now. Whilst investigating the rumour of a plot in Sevensport, I was attacked by flipping hell. Owen, how are you still alive? You've been attacked by flipping people 3 episodes in a row now. Let's sail the ships up here. We'll dock the men into the first forest to meet up with the other army and then march them to aid the Night's Watch army. We'll have more than enough men to hopefully march on to the wildlings then. And crush that army. Effin of Effin Silver Eye's host declared Effin Silver Eye's host invasion on the Ocean Road. Who are you? Effin Silver Eye. Okay, so you are from the coastlands. Okay, yes. You're the ones who moved over there and you're deciding to invade the Florent lands. Interesting. Very interesting. Of the Ocean Road. Which one is the Ocean Road again? Is that this High Lord? Which High Lordship's the Ocean Road? Sorry, guys. One of the ones up here, isn't it? Ocean Road. Ah, so he's trying to invade this land here. That'd be interesting. Could give us an ally. Very far down south. But, yeah, it's a little bit too far away, really, isn't it? You think they'd go a bit somewhere closer to home so they could maybe keep an ally with us. Right, let's dock the men here and wait for the rest of the Northerners to march south and help. Only one bastard born this episode, which is pretty amazing. Let's march on to the host at the wall as the other army marches south as well to join. Donald Stark is transferring a couple more vassalages. I'm surprised that he hasn't tried to take this little bit of Cape Kraken yet, which is owned by... Okay, some random... Oh, a conqueror. Lord Adrian the Conqueror. He's married to a Jogus Nye, matrimonially, for whatever reason. So, some Andal invasion managed to conquer a small part of Flint's Finger for some random reason. No idea why. Right, let's forward on. Get our men to the wall to help out. At least now we will be able to go to war with the Vale again pretty soon. That reminds me, can we now move our mother to try and fabricate some claims elsewhere? Let's have a look. Yes, finally. Right. Well, we've got some claims on quite a lot of the Vale. We'll leave the Vale for now because obviously we're going to have to do a peace with them. And let's start trying to claim these lands around Seagard. And the Freylands as well, which we're obviously going to try and claim as well. Be the first things as we start to first venture into the Riverlands. We did try and get them as an ally, but for whatever reason, the Muds were not interested. They'd rather stay allied with the Arryns, who have conquered their lands several times. Here we go. King Donald the Usurper has declared Northern Cape Kraken de jure war. I thought it'd only be a matter of time before he tried to press that claim. And it looks like the Night's Watch, 10,000 men, are finally going to attack the Wildling host, which is perfect. We'll join in then. Send all our men there to help out, and that should be a pretty quick victory. My beloved Rosamund is suffering from her bad marriage with Sir Kenneth. Perhaps I should suggest a romantic retreat to the countryside. Just the two of us. Yes, why not? I yearn for her embrace, and I yearn for more bastards. Right, let's forward on. There's a huge army of 10,000 men. My cousin Rosamund and I spent a few days of romance and passion in a country house, far away from the prying eyes of Sir Kenneth. I'm so happy, exhausted too. Oh, Enger. I'm loving Enger II so far. He's a lot more... Oh, wow, they're getting absolutely crushed for some reason. Why is our army no longer attached to them? Hurry up and get there and help them, else they're going to get crushed. It is rumoured that a great warrior from the distant east is currently passing through Sevensport. He is said to have taken part in 100 battles or more, and his legendary fighting skills are supposedly without peer. Perhaps he could be persuaded to pass on some of his knowledge to you. The man must be found. Your Grace, I've collected ample tax revenue in Sevensport. Excellent news. Gets us halfway out of debt. And here we go, our armies have arrived just in time to help the Night's Watch, which should crush that armour once we lift the siege on Eastwatch. Oh, there we go, 100%. Perfect. Theon Bolton is now known as the Hammer of Eastwatch. Nice name, Theon. And the rest of our army isn't going to arrive in time. Let's bring the fleet back here so that our men can get on board once they're there. They should now offer peace and end that war to restore Castle Black. Annoyingly, they couldn't restore all of it, I don't think. I don't think they're actually trying to press a claim on Sevensport, on the Shadow Tower presently. As they're at 100%, we'll get our men. Oh, the fleet needs to come up here. Janna Silvereye died stillborn. That's a shame. But yeah, we'll get our men on the fleet once the fleet arrives and take them home. They should. I don't know why they're not offering peace terms now. They're at 100%. Storm King Beric the Rich has declared Storm King Beric's invasion of the Reach on King Ronald of the Reach. Oh wow, so the Reach is completely getting fucked over at the moment. They've got several invasions going on. The Stormlands could be about to become very, very powerful. Or AI will just turn it into a horrendous amount of border gore again. Your flagship Enger Hotspur has given years of good service to the Andalian fleet, but it is now aging. It must either be retired or restored at substantial cost to the treasury. Time to retire, or we can spend 115 gold to fix her up. No, we'll fix her up. We'll probably have to take out a loan soon, but yeah, we'll definitely fix her up. Alistair Blaintree accepted King Clement of the Trident's peace offer. Okay, good news. When are the Night's Watch going to offer peace before it's too late? And the Wildling army comes back south and crushes them. Is our army going to get on that fleet or what? What are they even doing? Lord Jonas sent me a very skillfully written letter to explain his ardent wish to maintain a good relationship. It sounds reasonable. He's really up our arse. Don Chino Shycross has arrived at your court. Perfect. I don't know why. He was at our court anyway, wasn't he? So, not really sure what's going on there. Should we just march our army home? I've not got a clue what the hell the Night's Watch are messing around at. Let's forward things along while we wait for that to happen. But there we go. The second Night's Watch war to restore the Night's Watch has ended. Lord Commander Bryndon of the Night's Watch has won. Perfect. So why has Castle Black still not under his control then. What the hell's happening there? Let's march the men home, and we'll bring the fleets home as well. Perfect. So I don't know why that's now doesn't belong to him. He's took Castle Black back, but is he got to do it bit by bit to get the rest? Your Grace, I believe High Chiefess Sarah Nightrunner has been in your custody for too long. I accept your offer, 25 gold. We need all the money we can get presently. And wow, look at this huge Stark force marching through our territory. Going to retrieve Cape Kraken. I'm sure they can handle that on their own. They're not going to need any help from us. We'll forward along while we wait for our armies to get back home. And we've got a claim already on the Cape of Eagles, so we'll press that. It's putting us massively into debt. We do need to get ourselves out of debt, but I don't want to pass up getting these claims while we can, because we obviously want to press them pretty much. We'll get the whole High Lordship of Seaguard and the Freylands, though, before the crossing, before we do try and press that claim. We'll take care of the Vale first. King Clement of the Trident revoked the Lordship of Maidenpool from Melena Mooton. Oh dear, that's a bit harsh. So who now owns Maidenpool? House Mud. So what are you going to do with the Mootons? Are they going to be kicked out? We could invite them to our court and help them out. Madden of Madden Hornoff's host has declared Madden of Hornoff's host invasion on the Red Mountains. Okay, interesting. Let's continue to forward things along. Are our troops home yet? Our charity work is doing good. Perfect. Right, there we go. Let's disband the fleets. And the Stormlands have now won the Bay of Crabs War, so that's interesting that they're extending up there. If they manage to win that war against the Reach, they could become very powerful and very worrying. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm not going to... If they do that, then fair play to them, but it would be worrying if they managed to get that much power. The Storm Kings did get a lot of power after the Andal invasion at one point when they owned all the Riverlands and the Crown Lands, so it is possible for them to do that. Let's march our army home. When can we move our diplomat? And King Ben of the Grand Lands has formed an alliance with Storm King Beric the Rich. Now that is interesting, so they've managed to get a very interesting alliance there, which is going to help them take the Reach. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did actually end up taking the Reach now. So another 2 months before we can move. My coffers are empty, but the seps are rich. Maybe I should seize sept properties to repay my debts. There are fat septons. Seize them. We lose 250 piety and we upset the high septon, but we gain 250 gold. Times are harsh. Force the seps to share the coin. We lose 100 piety for 100 gold. Compromise with them to find money. Gain piety, gain gold. We lose a bit of prestige. The gods frown upon such unpiety. Well, we're not zealous, are we? So we're not going to be upset about that. Let's lose 100 piety to gain 100 gold. I don't really want to... Or should we just seize the gold? Lose 250 piety, but we gain 250 gold. Would Enger do it? I think Enger probably would do it for the chance of getting gold and expanding his realm. So yes, there are fat septons. Seize the gold. That gets us out of debt. Perfect. And we need a new council position. Oh, it looks like our priest doesn't want to be the septon anymore, so we need a new high septon now, which is interesting. Oh, we've not got as many loyalists anymore. Oh, Owen is no longer a loyalist. Have we upset him in some way? Could send him a little gift. Our army has depleted a little bit as well, I noticed, but we do have 6,000 men up here still, so but we do need to disband those once they arrive. My prisoner septon, oh, we've imprisoned him. He's complaining about his dark cell. Should we ransom him? Get 25 more gold? Yeah, let's ransom him. You evil bastard, Enger. And then we'll put him back into his position. Yes, I will be merciful. Gains us 10 piety, even though the poor bastard's done nothing wrong. And he accepts paying his ransom. And now we... we'll put you back as our priest, which will improve your opinion of us again. And we will... Yeah, there we go. Perfect. We've made you like us a little bit more again. We've managed to fill the coffers. We've been a bit of a bastard. It's a move that many kings make, isn't it, against the church? Right, disband our armies. Perfect. We'll let our armies recover slightly as we only have 13,000. How many men does the Vale have? 5,000. So we could take the Vale out. We could take the lands we wanted pretty easily, to be fair, actually. Probably wouldn't be that hard. We've obviously got the North, who we can call into alliance, as well as the Royces and the Waynwood. So we... Do you know what? Yeah, let's invade the Vale. Declare war. Press all claims, which is... What is it? All the claims that we want? Moon's Grey, Crown Crag, Strongson. Does it not? And Heart's Home. Does it take... Does it press the claim for Newkeep as well, though? Hopefully it does. So yeah, press all claims, send. Andalia is at a state of war. We should send ravens to the great lords, rallying them to the crown's defence. Yes, ask Donald to join in, and hopefully the Vale Lords will, but they may not. But who knows? At least they'll be on our side when we do. Who are you? Blackpool. That's not what I wanted. Right. Military. Call up all our vassals. Call up all our fleets. So it's easier to get everybody down south. We'll start the war probably in the next episode properly. Let's get everybody on their fleets. Apart from you, actually. There's no point loading you on the fleets. We'll just dock you there so you can march overland. Who else needs to march overland? You guys need to march there. Bring the fleets. You guys march. Yeah, just march to the Reedlands. What else? We only got 2 ships there, so that's no good. March you up there. Let's bring the sister fleet over there to pick you up. And you know what? We'll bring the Morgoth fleet over to pick you up as well. The Bolton and Rack army, they need to march down south. We'll sail down the Greystark army. They can go to the Vale actually to pick up those stragglers. Hopefully the Starks will aid us. They best aid us. But we will save that war and battle for the beginning of the next episode, guys. So thank you all so much for watching as always. Don't forget to stick around for that end POV. If you did enjoy, which I hope you did, please don't forget to like, leave a comment down below and subscribe to the channel. And hopefully I'll see you all very soon for the next episode.
Enger paced around his council room. He had received a letter not a day before, seeking an audience with him. It had been delivered anonymously, so he had his trusted friends Samwell Rack and Leopold Snow by his side. Suddenly, a servant entered the chamber at a loss of breath. "My lords, it's that Lycene merchant. He said he is here to see you." Leopold let out a grunt. "Well, I suppose we know who sent the letter. Be cautious, your grace. Lyceni are as sly as a fox and as poisonous as a viper." Enger was made curious by this foreign man for his request, yet angered by his mystery and lack of information for this meeting. He gave his blessing for the audience to see why such a man would come to the court of Andalia, maybe a trade deal or monopoly. Enger agreed to the man's entering and told the courtier to hurry. "Bring the man of the hour in, as I have other business to attend to later, and it is not wise to keep the king waiting." The servant quickly scurried out, soon returning with a silver-haired man and woman. The room was filled with the strong scents of flowers which nearly made the king gag. The man knelt. "Your grace, it is an honour to meet you." His accent was almost as thick as the stench of his perfumes. He kissed the king's ring. Enger grimaced yet remained calm. Enger was taken aback by this man. The smell of him offended his nose as well as the voice that made mimicry of the common tongue, yet Enger kept calm against all these slights. "Thank you, and welcome to Andalia. Now," he moved his leg to position it so as to force the man up, "what brings you to my halls?" The man bowed. "Saladan, Eugenio Saladan. You may have heard of me from your hand and master of coin. I am the head of the Lycene Merchants Guild. This woman here is my wife, Sandara." The woman bowed low. "Your grace." Enger noted that there were signs of a beautiful woman there, but age erased that beauty. There was one thing that wasn't in doubt. Her purple eyes glowed with a fierceness that women half her age would only dream of. "We are here to make a proposal," the merchant gestured to the table. "Shall we have a seat?" "We may. What is this proposal? A trade deal? Monopoly perhaps? Or just to earn my favour?" Enger moved over to the table and gestured them to take a seat across from him, whilst Leopold and Samwell moved into his side. "So what is it we are here to discuss?" Enger gave a strained smile. Before Saladan could utter a word, his wife spoke. "We wish to ask for improved benefits for Lycene merchants. In particular, we wish to have the rights to acquire slaves from your prisons. Traitors, prisoners of war, it matters not. In return, we will be your greatest patrons in both war and politics." Lord Saladan could only mutter, "Yes, yes, what she said, your grace." Samwell gave a look of absolute revulsion. "Are you mad? You would dare bring the chains to our lands? I should slit your throats here and be done with it." "Sam, hold yourself." Enger's eyes narrowed at the woman, yet a small smirk appeared at the corners of his mouth. "I will entertain your idea, for a moment, as preposterous as it is. What would we get from this arrangement?" Saladan smiled, a thin smile for a grossly fat face. He snapped his fingers and several servants strode into the room, arms full of jewels, silks, exotic foods and gold. "And that is not all, my lord. Something even more special shall be yours." This caught the attention of the 3 young men. Leopold scoffed. And what would that be? Lady Sandara gave a curt nod and a young woman entered the chamber. Her dress was made of blue silks, an ocean blue, decorated with pearls. Her face was hidden behind a veil of similar material, but just thick enough to obscure the girl's face. Selden smiled. Care to do the honours, your highness? Enger picked himself from the chair to inspect the young woman. He studied her like a butcher looking at a spot for the best cuts. Then he lifted the veil. He let out a slight gasp. The girl was no more than 16 years of age. Her lips were as red as arbor wine, her skin almost as pale as the northern snow, with hair just as white. The one thing that truly drew his attention were her eyes of blue with bits of silver in them. The girl knelt. Leopold whistled. And who is this lovely maid? Lady Sandara frowned. Her name is Yuria. She is one of my husbands. The girl gave a timid smile. Her eyes reminded Enger of those of a doe. The girl was certainly one he would be happy to deflower. After her departure, the discussion continued. Is she to your liking, your grace? Selden looked as cheerful as a spoiled pig. Enger gave some thought to all he had been proposed before speaking. She is agreeable, yes, but now I believe it's time for us to talk terms. I have given thought to your proposal of slaves, and I have come to my choice. No, Andalia shall never allow slavery, no matter the crime. The block or the wall is for such matters, not slavery. We and our kin left Andalos for a reason, and we will not allow it in my kingdom. Yet as for benefits, that's something we can agree on. Rights for merchants, cheaper taxes and lower toll on Lyseni goods and merchants entering Andalia, and monopoly trade for 7 years from us to get goods coming and going to Essos. The two silver-haired guests turned to each other and nodded. We accept your terms. Selden offered his hand, which Enger took. This will be the start of something incredible.